bisa dapat kesempatan wawancara khusus dengan Mbak Yasmeen Ahmad, Managing Director Data Cloud dari Google Cloud. Dan ini di sela-sela acara Google Cloud Next 2026 di Las Vegas. Stay tuned. Yasmeen, what's the story behind your choice to pursue the advanced technology field you are now working in?
When I think about my journey and career in the space of data and cloud and now AI and analytics, it actually starts back when I initially started in the research world, working in genomics and proteomics on large-scale data pipelines and analyzing that data for biologists. And I always had a passion for solving complex business problems. So proteomics and genomics was such a complex space. I wasn't a biologist, but I could bring my problem solving and data skills to the table. So that naturally led me into data science. And as I worked with large companies, I loved going across domains and seeing how we could solve problems for finance and telco and retail. And it's naturally led to this journey today where we are with data and AI. Suddenly AI is this big momentous movement. And if I think about some of the things that I did in my earlier career as a data scientist, I wish I had AI then.
Oh yeah. And are there specific criteria for someone who wants to become a data expert in the AI era?
Specific advice?
Yeah, I mean specific criteria. I mean,
criteria.
You love math, you love something, that kind of thing. From your experience.
Yeah. I actually ran data science teams in Europe and hired data scientists. I've always found it's less about the specific degree that you had. Even today, when I'm hiring for my new innovation team or forward deployed engineers, we're looking for people who have the creativity and the spark. They like to solve problems. So yes, they might know the tools and how to use the tools, but it's the leaning into, are you good at problem solving? Do you think outside the box? How can you apply now new technologies like agentic technologies to an existing problem? So it's people who are constantly tinkering away and looking to find new innovative ways of doing things.
Yeah, I'm working for IDN Times, the media that targeting millennial and Gen Z in Indonesia, the leading platform for that. And one of the questions that always asked by them towards somebody like you that has a quite high position in the big tech company, can you code? Can
I code? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I come from a coding background.
Okay.
As a data scientist, I loved Python.
Okay.
I coded in R, especially when I was in the research world. So coding, SQL, I'd like to say I was a master at SQL. I feel like I still am. I can do some really cool windowing functions and advanced things in SQL. So yes, coding, and especially today with vibe coding, to be able to do the day job and still be able to do side projects is actually very fun.
Okay. This is the most serious and technical. In generative AI, grounding is the ability to connect model output to verifiable sources of information. So can you elaborate more about this in order to avoid the hallucination issue, that kind of thing?
The biggest challenge for enterprises with now agentic AI is, can I trust the agents?
Yes.
Especially as we get to autonomous AI, where you have agents that maybe are making decisions without a human even in the loop. So what we have learned over the last couple of years is trust and accuracy actually comes from not just pointing an agent to raw data lakes and data warehouses. You need data plus context. And so what is context? It's the unwritten rules of your enterprise. It's when you calculate revenue, you do it excluding returns. Or when you're analyzing PDF documents, what's the clause and code on page 40 mean? That's context that typically is not encoded in data platforms. And so in this agentic world, we're thinking about the data platform as, yes, the data layer, which you still have to focus on good quality, high quality, well-lineaged data. But then there's a universal context engine on top of that data. We just launched the knowledge catalog, which adds business meaning on top of data and allows agents to understand and operate on the data with high accuracy.
Okay. The industry is moving from chatbot to proactive AI agent.
Yes.
What specific governance gaps or structural failures in legacy stack are you seeing that force customers to reconsider their entire data strategy?
When I think about the legacy stack, or even what the modern data stack was, it was built for humans and applications. So a human clicking about a button or using a mouse, that speed, the way that humans operated with dashboards, is not how agents operate. Or even we built applications. Applications were still hitting a database with SQL to do querying against a database, basically writing and reading from a database.
Okay.
When we think about agents and autonomous workflows, agents don't do querying. Actually, agents and AI isn't terribly great at writing SQL. We've had to actually create and teach AI how to be good at SQL. Because agents naturally actually search and reason over data. They don't query data. So that fundamentally changes how we think about the data platform. The data platform and the engine can't be just a SQL engine. SQL is good for certain things. Agents need graph for graph RAG. They need vector embeddings, vector search over multimodal data sets. We want to put search capabilities into the platform. So if you take, for example, BigQuery or Spanner, this is why we've brought Graph, and we just launched Graph in BigQuery. We've had Graph in Spanner. We've brought autonomous vector embeddings into the platform. We've actually taken our search technology from Google Search and brought that into the platform, because you need a different kind of engine for agents to run. And another example I would use is, in the old modern data stacks, we focused on APIs. Actually, APIs are very brittle and they're very rigid. So humans could use the APIs we published to build an application on top of the database. That was great. But agents actually don't use APIs. Agents love tools and skills. If you give an agent access to tools, it can go against any data platform and any existing API, and the API can change and the agent will adapt flexibly. So fundamentally, it reshapes how we think about even building a core data stack. That data stack needs to have tools and skills like our data agent kit. It needs a context engine like knowledge catalog. It needs engines that have graph capabilities and so on built in. And that's why, as we talk about the agentic data cloud, it's a different way of building.
Yeah. One of the issue that interesting for me during this conference is about the importance of the security of data in this AI era. Do you have comment on that?
So security and governance is absolutely critical for enterprises.
Yes.
You can't just vibe code an application against any data in the enterprise. And in particular, now we're seeing customers bring unstructured data. Actually, documents, videos, images didn't ever have that level of governance, control, access, security as, say, structured data did in platforms. But the key thing is, not everybody in your business should be able to see all documents in the business. So as we build out like the multimodal data layer and our cross-cloud lakehouse, and then we build the context engine on top of it, when an agent comes in and requests context or data, that agent needs to be subject to the same access controls and permissioning and PII data sensitivity as traditional humans would have been as they try to access data. So this is why we're building, whether it's security, permissioning, access control, into all of the layers. So when an agent is operating and it's going through our agentic harness, which is our tools, our skills, our context engine, our memory layer, that agent continues to have that same level of security, governance, also observability, where we're tracking what the agents are doing as you would in the traditional world.
I haven't have chance to ask about one of the important event in this conference, which is the launch of TPU 8i and TPU 8t. From your perspective in your job now, what is the significance to support your job?
When I think about the advancements that we're making in TPU technology, that advancement is to support the entire stack. So we've been talking a lot about agents. When an agent today is called, or Gemini is called to do an outcome-based task, we call it intent-driven engineering. That Gemini might actually spawn off multiple workflows with multiple thinking loops and multiple steps, and be doing self-critiquing. And so it's not just one agent doing one call. This is complex multi-step workflows. As those workflows execute and go through the stack, they're going through the model layer to the data layer, right down to the silicon, the chip. We have to optimize the efficiency across the whole stack to drive better speeds, latency, reduce latencies, better cost for our customers. And when you think about at the chip layer, if you now have these super powerful models trying to do training and inferencing on the same chip, you create a bottleneck, a traffic jam. Data can't come on and off that chip. Also, we've done amazing things around memory compression, of how we send context down to be processed with the AI that's processing, the agents that are processing. To me, these advancements in TPU8 is super significant for us, enabling that best performance, best cost profile for our customers across the entire stack. We're optimizing the infrastructure to work on data problems.
Okay, so Google Cloud announced a significant new $750 million partner fund. Could you walk me through how a specific customer pain point is solved by a partner using your data agent kit or conversational analytic?
So what's exciting to me is in the partner ecosystem, our partners are working with our customers on large-scale transformations, for example, where it's not just about deploying a new technology and switching it on. With agentic AI, we're talking about transforming organizations, transforming workflows, changing the way businesses work, changing the way teams work, liberating the humans from being task doers to orchestrators of agents. So what our partners can do here and support with Google is help our customers to, yes, adopt the best technology, but also adopt that technology into new workflows that maybe never existed before, create new ways of doing business. And so that partnership means our partners have access to all of the amazing technology, like our data agent kit. They can support in bringing that technology into our customers, supporting our customers to drive adoption of that technology, and critically unlock new ROI, new value. Because once you use those agents to drive action is where the ROI comes.
Okay, on a personal career pivot, you have, as you mentioned earlier, you have fascinating background starting with PhD work in genomic system, right? So how does that experience building scientific model inform your current strategy for helping enterprises democratize complex AI?
When I think about my days working in genomics and proteomics, the amazing thing in research is you don't know where the needle is in the haystack. You're doing research looking at different proteome complexes, looking for patterns, connecting the dots, trying to understand human biology. And for me, the skills that I learned there were you're trying new things, you're pathfinding, you're looking for connections, you're bringing the pieces together. That's what we're doing now with AI innovation. To me, it's exciting because this is groundbreaking. No one has ever done this before. Nobody's had this technology in their hands before. So for me, I just stood up a new innovation team, a forward deployed engineering team. We're out pathfinding with customers. Customers are describing interesting problems, and we're rolling up our sleeves and getting in there with a customer to be the first in the world to apply this technology to that business problem. And as we pathfind, we'll try things that don't work, but from that we'll learn something, and that informs what product we should be building. And so this partnership with customers as we actually innovate the product at the same time as pathfind with them is very interesting.
How big your team?
My team is 60 people.
How many women in the team?
Oh, I'd have to count that. Not enough.
Average. Okay, not enough. Yeah. So this is also interesting. You are a prominent Muslim woman leader in tech. How has your background shaped your perspective on fostering an environment where diverse technical talent feels empowered to build the future of enterprises data?
Good question. So my background, I'm from Scotland originally,
Yeah.
and I worked in Europe, and then I relocated to the US, and now working in the Bay Area
Okay.
with Google. I think my background actually gives me a unique perspective. Once you've worked across continents, also your background and where you come from, I believe that's it's a value add. When you're working with larger enterprises, customers, you're bringing unique and different perspectives to the table. So when I look around the table at my product engineering counterparts and leaders, each of us have come from a different background. I come from the research world, and having done my PhD and worked on proteomics, genomics, some of my engineering leaders come from a very different backgrounds. I think actually that combination helps us think about problems in unique ways. And being a female in the space, I'm a strong supporter of women in this industry. I think in the old world, coding used to maybe be seen as not something that girls should be interested in. Actually, being in this space, coding is such a small component of what we do. It's what's possible with agentic AI. So I'm also hoping actually that agentic AI inspires more girls, women to pursue a career in this space, because it can be interesting. And with AI, we can use more of our creativity.
Okay, so what advice do you have for young people who want to pursue a career in data like you? Not specific women, this is for all.
In general.
Yeah.
My advice for young people today would be bold. The world is changing because of this amazing technology. I equate the AI and agentic era to the era of the internet. Think about life before the internet and then after the internet. So much more opportunity, new business models, new ways of doing things opened up. Agentic AI is going to be the same. There's jobs that we've never even heard of that are going to be created, and potentially industries where there's opportunity and potential. So I think the opportunity for young people today is, if you're new in the industry, maybe you're not grounded in the way things are done. You've got an opportunity to reimagine things in a different way. So play with the technology, innovate with the technology. There's literally limitless possibilities of what can be reimagined.
What do you do in your free time?
I laugh at that question because AI is moving super fast. I'm very passionate about what I work on at Google here, and so lots of my time is spent thinking about agentic and AI, etc. But also in my free time, I'm an outdoor person, so I love to go hiking. I love traveling also, which I'm thankful my job allows me to do. So getting out there around the world.
Have you ever traveling in Southeast Asia?
Yes, many times.
Oh,
Yeah.
To Indonesia?
I've been to Indonesia, yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I think about Gen AI models like Gemini, they are super powerful, and they know everything about the world and have a world model of how the internet runs and the world works, but they don't know anything about your enterprise data. They don't have access to your secure, compliant, enterprise-specific data. So just applying a model in your business without having it grounded and connected to your business context, to your business data, means that model is going to not be accurate. It won't understand your business model. It won't understand how your business works. So being able to connect enterprise data with these amazing world models with context is actually what makes the model useful for enterprises. Just one example is our deep research agent. So we launched our deep research agent a while ago now, and it does amazing things. It's able to look across the web, documents, and synthesize really deep insights. Well, just at Next here, we just launched the ability for the deep research agent to now also connect to enterprise data platforms like BigQuery. So now the deep research agent can be monitoring a live, real-time situation that it's understanding through web signals and connecting that back to what does that mean for your enterprise. We actually tried this internally. So we, with the current conflict in the world happening, the Strait of Hormuz was closed. We had the deep research agent looking at those web signals and connecting it to our own BigQuery data platform with all of Google's customers. And it was able to look at the world events, identify companies that would be impacted by those world events. And then it actually went into our Salesforce data and said, here's all the pipeline of opportunity that is potentially at risk. And then here's 3 strategies about what you should be talking to these customers about right now.
Okay.
Because they're impacted with their shipping routes and being changed and so on.
The logistics.
So the opportunity is not just having generic AI that's looking at the world, it's having AI that is connected also to enterprise data.
Thank you so much, Yasmeen.
Thank you.